Hi Lisa, I have a question on free will. I'm starting to realize there is no such thing, and that we all have a relatively predetermined life pattern that if we can realize or wake up to what we actually are, then this pattern plays out to its highest and best outcome. Is this correct? And if so, how far does it go? If every single decision I seemingly make already predetermined, in some ways I can see that accepting a lack of free will allows for total freedom, as there is nothing for mind to worry about. But will acceptance of it also not lead to some sort of nihilism and a sense of what's the point in everything if it's all already decided? Great channel, by the way. I find your honesty and straightforward delivery refreshing. Nice, Rick. Thanks. Yes, there's lots of questions in there. I think that nothing ever is succinct intellectually. So you can think about all these things and you can relax and what will be the best life, and if this lines up and this lines up and that lines up, then I'll get to this. And in the end, that's all thoughts and imagination that's appearing now. And in this moment prior to all of that, even though it's not really prior, it's all around, it is everywhere, but we say prior as in what is inherently there, then that's free. So whether your questions are answered or not, there is something that's already free in you. And that's here, right now. But I like the way in which you say it, particularly at the beginning. Like, we can just relax into that and let that happen. Let life happen. We don't have to keep fighting life, like trusting it. Like really trusting life. And it goes against everything that we've ever been taught about controlling our lives and holding on to our lives. But really trusting it. It's not even you that's doing it in a way, it's like as you step out of the way, then trust is emerging. In some ways I can see that accepting a lack of free will will allow for total freedom. There's nothing to going to worry about, but will acceptance of it not also lead to a story of nihilism? No. Nihilism is another story, and that's not really what we're talking about. We're not really talking about somebody accepting there is no free will. It's a deep seeing that who you are is this mystery, and that this character is appearing out of mystery. And that you, the one that's on the surface, the character, the one that most people believe themselves are, is an outcome of this mystery. It's not actually an inherent doer. So it would only lead to nihilism if the person believes in that. Which in a way the person will believe in it, but it's like in one way, like it, but as long as that's seen with the deeper seeing that that's not who you are, then it won't form into nihilism. Like, what would there be nihilistic about? Like, nihilistic is that life is pointless. You see, that's totally misunderstanding the teachings, because how can life be pointless? Because that's all made up by the mind. That's all made up in time, that life has meaning, that life has point or no point. It's the belief in the mental reality. When you see that you are much more, that you're this not knowing that's beyond it, there is a freedom that takes place. That this not knowing not a not knowing of the person, but beyond that. And it's totally content and in love with itself. And it's experiencing because of the love of it, not because it wants to get somewhere, but because it loves itself. Like when you really go into that mystery, you see that the appearance of the trees is love, the appearance of the window is love, the sound of my voice is love, the space between objects is love. Like when you see there's no division between who you are and the object, you see that love is manifesting. That you aren't one thing, that who you are is no thing and all things. There is this consciousness of that. And this isn't something mental. This is something that's happening right here. You don't grasp this with the mind. The mind appears in time. So nihilism can only come when you believe in the mind and you believe that meaning actually means something. Whereas meaning is something that humans have made up and believe in as a society in order to manipulate the resources and survive. It's not inherent to life. The word meaning appears as a human thought. And there's something before that. It's before the idea of meaning. And this is where your freedom lies. And this is what people are always jumping out of into time. They jump out and then they're like, oh, I exist. And then they go into time and they're like, what's meaning? I have to have meaning. My life has to have purpose. It has to go somewhere. It has to mean something. I can't just die and mean nothing. And this totally missing the point. Who were you in the first place? You've always been life itself, not this character. And when the character's separate and identified, of course it feels meaningless. Of course it feels arbitrary. It feels like it's this big world, and this big world is one day going to eat it, so it has to make its mark in this big world. It has to do something. It has to have importance. It has to be recognized. Thank you for your question, Rick.